Welcome everyone to Morning Wong Chat. We are on episode 46. It's been so many, getting closer and closer to 50. I feel like I should do something special for 50. I know I keep saying this, but I still have no idea what I'm doing. Sorry if I sound kind of funny too. I just explained to Erika too. There's balls in my mouth. I'm drinking boba and it's great. You guys should try it if you never tried boba and milk tea. Anyway, today we are talking to Erika. Erika Ishii, I feel like hoping I'm saying it right. I don't know. I'll let her correct me if I'm wrong. She's a great actress. She does voice acting. But I also know her as a crazy girl who I see running around convention all the time. Good crazy, don't worry. She's really fun, really energetic. Just an awesome person in general. So yeah, she's great, and I would love to catch up with her because of Falcon. I haven't seen her in a while. So anyway, I can see her now, and it's exciting for me. All right. Hey, Erika, what's up?
Hi, Martin. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Man, it is so good to see. We were talking about this, how nice it is for us to just sit down and have a chat that's not at a crowded party or at a con where we're both working and we're like, hi, bye.
That's usually the case. Yeah, every time I see you, just like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, all right, gotta go. Run, boom, gone.
Yeah, and I think we were saying that the last time that we actually got to sit down and have an actual conversation was at a Christmas party 2 years ago, maybe.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime before that or after that was just like hi and bye on the go.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the life of a sort of nerd creative, is that cons are work for you. And so while they're super fun and you do get a lot of great hang time in with friends, you're on constantly. You're on constantly, and you're on the run constantly, going from one appointment to the next one. And then at the end of the day, even when you're all sort of relaxing at a bar or something, you still got to stay sharp because your bosses are around.
And I think people don't understand that. Like people who go to cons and go to events for fun, it's like, it's great. It's of course it's amazing. They get to check out the latest game. They get to see all this cool stuff, like bigger than life size figure, and like all the stuff they have at a convention. But for us, it's like cool. But we need to jump to the next meeting, or like we need to do the next handshake and meet the new people, and it's exhausting.
I mean, like you also started going to cons as a fan back in the day too, right?
I started long ago when I first started cosplay photography. That's how I got started.
So you started as a professional, because for me, I used to go to Anime Expo and Comic Con just as a fan, and so I remember waiting in the lines to play games, or clamoring for swag, like going around with a swag bag, or waiting in line for panels. So yeah, I had the whole sort of fan experience, and then it slowly transitioned into, suddenly I was starting to be on panels, and then suddenly I was like working events, also booth bathing in there was like in there at some point, because your friends all run booths. So
one good thing is that now, like that we've been in the professional scene for so long, one good thing is that I don't have to do lines, like get in line anymore. That is good benefit.
I'm terribly spoiled when it comes to lines. It's like, what? There's like a 10-minute wait for that? I'm not going to wait for that. I'll just like get a press bag later or something, which is really terrible.
See, that's why we're so mad about like E3. Here's the thing. We don't mind like PAX, whatever, it makes sense. It's a interactive experience for fans, for like anyone. But E3 is very much for business. And then they reopen it back for public, and that got frustrating because you have a lot of entitled people who run around and demanding their swag, and then like running into us, and like we're in their way when they should be like, I don't know, in school. It's like weekday.
So, like, that's the thing is, it's, I know the argument on the other hand is that it's, like, really elitist not to let the general population in. But I would agree, as somebody who's done both, actually, my first E3, I snuck in. I was on a date. But I would say that, for E3, when you're running around, it's work. Like you're trying to get content, trying to do interviews, you're trying to make it to appointments. It's not as awful as it is. You're not there to enjoy yourself. I mean, I do. Like I love E3, and I will never get tired of it. And I mean, we're also
But
going to
it
have to
still
circle
work.
back around to the idea of what conventions are going to look like after this. But it's just, yeah, it's a lot, and you're tired, and you're hard at work, and E3 is such a madhouse, and then to have it be open to general public, it just makes it that much harder to get around or to like sort of concentrate on work. And I love the consumer shows like PAX and GDC is more like trade show as well, but
but GDC would be boring, I feel like, for public as well. I mean, it is kind of half public, half industry.
I know that a lot of people are clamoring for change in GDC, but just the general conventions for consumers and for fans, I think are super great. But I think that E3 should still be reserved for people that have to conduct the business there.
I feel like the solution is what Gamescom does, which is like the first 2 days are for industry, and then the next.
I think they still do that for E3.
Do they? No, I feel like not. I feel like once. I don't remember.
I think there's a couple of industry only days. I think. Not sure.
But I know they have hours for media. The first hours for media, but then I feel like after that it's public. I don't think they've done it yet because I remember I filled out a form to let them know saying, hey, I think it makes more sense even if you don't do like at least do it like this, right? You can either have first 2 days for industry and then the next 2 days or 4 days totals, then the last 2 days for both industry and public, or you can be like every day is the first 4 hours or 3 hours are industry only, and then it's public, like something like that.
Yeah, just something to allocate time for people who are working. But but I just like right now I just kind of miss conventions. It's kind of nice to have a break, but I just my heart really goes out to everybody that made their living doing conventions.
Oh yes, I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and he made a costume for this cosplayer to wear. They were supposed to go to like 4 or 5 big trade show this year for that. But they only went to PAX East, and then bam, done, no more. Yeah. So I don't think
PAX East was the last one that I went to, and that was like just on the edge of everything. I think it was last. I remember I wore a mask on the plane. Nobody else was wearing a mask, but I'm like, it's an Asian culture thing.
Yeah, my parents were already calling me like, before the whole shutdown. It's like, this is very serious, Martin. Take it seriously. Wear a mask. Buy toilet paper. Do all the stuff.
Yeah, my aunt, she was in she was in Hong Kong. She was in Hong Kong at the time, and so like, she was saying like, take this seriously. So I don't know, and it's we're all kind of trying to be there as a community for each other digitally now, which is
not the same.
Working on some levels and not on some others. I think
I feel like an old man when I tell people who haven't been to convention before. I'm like, back in my day, this is what conventions are like, and showing them, all this like fun stuff about convention.
You remember Yowie paddles and the paddles and like glomping, free hug signs.
Yeah, I just like a few weeks ago, I released a video which is a secret project I was gonna do the whole year, but I didn't get to do it because convention is not a thing right now. But I was gonna do a tilt shift photography, which is like everyone look like miniature figures. And I was gonna go to each conventions to do a time lapse video of people walking around, but they look like very small figures, like you would see us in like a toy. But yeah, I didn't get to do it anymore. But that is a very good showcase of see how everyone's running around, how people are so packed together. Especially I got some in PAX East. But I was like, oh, that seems like a lifetime ago.
It does. I cannot believe that was this year, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if we even saw each other there. Martin and I tend to go to the same conventions, and sometimes we'll manage to run into each other on the floor. One glorious year at E3. God, what was that? Was that last year? That was last year. And you,
I think so.
I was like, hey, I've got access to because CD Projekt Red is very kind. They've been
Which
like,
I was gonna say, this chair is freaking awesome. I just saw it. I was like, I need to talk about it.
Look at, and then the other side is the.
Wow.
They're so sweet. So they've been
Did
sending
you have
me
a jacket too? The jacket too with that?
Yeah, I got the jacket.
Mm.
We got the jacket from the activation and E3, and so they had built the whole cyberpunk bar. There was like 2 bars, and it was just like made to look exactly like cyberpunk. And they had the cosplayers there, and so Martin. I was like, hey Martin, like I've got access to the lounge and I'm wearing something cyberpunky. Can we go shoot there? And you just so kindly did. And I love those photos so much. They remain like some of my favorite photos ever.
That was fast though, because for those of you who haven't seen it, but those photos were shot with the phone because I didn't have my camera with me at that moment.
You didn't have your camera, but just it was with your phone, and you just like touch them up in Lightroom, just right there. And it's you're just. I always see those articles about how, it's photographers are what make the camera good, because like if I took a really nice DSLR, I couldn't get anything out of it.
But it's easy. Like, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it.
I don't know. But it's, I love your photography. I love your photography.
Thank you.
And
I'm trying to do more as well. I want to do more like surreal photography if I can get the chance to, but we'll see.
I saw the one you did with Mari, the dream. Oh my gosh,
that was fun shoot too. The good thing is that I also have another behind the scene video of that photo shoot, so I get to show it later. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I haven't uploaded it yet, but yeah.
Amazing to me because, like, I always have to sort of make my own content, and especially in isolation now. And it's just like so much editing and posing and just lighting and it's so much, and you're just such a pro at it.
Here's the thing, like I wish I can spend more time focusing on just creating content, but it's not always that easy to. But I know it's hard to be the person in front of the camera or like, whatever the content is, but also behind the camera. Is it doable? Yes. Is it a lot of work? Heck yes. Like so much work.
I feel like, we kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, that both of us sort of created what we do. Like created our careers, right? I mean, like when you started out in cosplay photography, that wasn't really a thing.
No, it is. I mean, technically, it's not really a thing, but it's not really a thing at all. We just have to like craft our path into whatever we're doing. Like, here's the scary part too. Like, I'm doing that right now myself. People have been asking me, so Martin, it's like con's not really a thing right now. What are you doing? And even before con, I was like before the end of the whole convention scene, the start of pandemic, I was already planning like. I'm trying to be a photographer, but in the gaming space, cosplay space, whatever, but also as a content creator, influencer, whatever you call it. But the thing is that it doesn't really exist. So either A, no one knows how to do it, so I'm pioneering it, or B, it's not a thing because it's really nobody would care for it, then it's a lost cause. So I'm like, hopefully it's the first one, not the second one, so maybe I can pioneer as a thing. So I mean, I did that with cosplay, so hopefully I can do that with this gaming space as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's so interesting too, because especially in the gaming space, like gaming content creators, like YouTubers or Twitch streamers, all have to sort of do everything for themselves. You just have to be a predator, like the producing, editing, directing,
scriptwriter.
Script writing, and I don't know. Like I've always grown up doing traditional acting, but I wasn't really making the inroads there that I wanted to, and I wasn't getting the roles that I wanted to, and so I had to sort of make my own thing.
I must sound like a broken record because every time I have any Asian content creator come up on this stream, when we do this podcast, I always talk about this, but it's kind of tricky to be Asian in the entertainment industry, I mean, especially for Asian male. Like I talked to Jimmy about this too, but it's just tough in general. Like it's getting better. It's definitely getting better, but it's definitely not there yet.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so incredible to see roles and films and even behind the camera, um, Asians and Asian Americans doing things that I never thought would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a long way to go. There's a lot of, this is such an uphill battle for Black and Indigenous people of color, you know,
Mm-hmm.
general, just marginalized groups.
Yep. Yep.
Still statistically, it's not diverse enough. But
It's a grind. We all have to like keep going at it.
yeah, and we sort of started to make inroads for ourselves. Well, almost all of the Asian actors I can think of, at least in our circle, sort of made their own way.
Mm-hmm.
They started their own YouTube channels or started streaming games on their own. I fully believe that, like, a lot of the Asian American actors that are big right now, have gotten big because of like social media now
Mm-hmm.
and content creation.
Have you thought about like have you always used the same last name, or when you first started, did you thought about changing your name or something?
Interesting you asked that. I always used my last name. I think when I was younger, because I was a child actor, and I booked a lot, and then because I'm part Chinese. Here's the thing, Martin, and I don't know if I've ever really talked about this much, but it's hard to kind of be mixed Asian American because I'm never gonna. Asians are always considered the perpetual foreigner.
Yep.
Usually they just no
matter what race you are, they just group us one foreigner Asian, like foreigners.
Yeah, immigrants. Yeah, Asian, and I'm fourth generation American, but I'm never going to be cast as all American. But then also, when I went to Japan, they straight up, like an old guy at the 7-Eleven straight up told me, like, you don't belong here. He's like, oh, and he said it in Japanese. He's like, oh, she's not really actually Japanese, otherwise she'd know this, blah blah blah. And so I'm like not Japanese enough, but then I'm not American. And then also I'm Chinese. And, when I went to Hong Kong, my aunt's like, don't tell anyone that you're Japanese. Do not tell anybody you're Japanese. And like in Japan, they were like, don't tell anybody that you're part Chinese.
It's still a lot of baggage from World War II. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think when I was younger, occasionally we'd have to use my Chinese last name for when submitting me for roles that were Chinese, because otherwise they'd see a Japanese last name and assume that I was just trying to pass or something. And so when I signed with an agent, like at college, when I signed with a new agent, he asked, like, would you consider changing your last name to something less obviously Asian, so that if when they see your name on the top of the pile, they don't assume that you have an accent or it's kind of, they'll make certain assumptions. And I said, no, I want to keep my last name. And I'm glad I did, because I will never know if it really impacted my career negatively or not. But
that's the thing too. Like, won't you wish, like, I mean, don't you wish just knowing, not about actually doing it, but actually knowing, like, what would that difference make? And like, how crazy would that be because of just the name? Not have anything to do with your skill, your acting skill, or your actual performance, but just because your name would difference, and how much it would change your career.
No, and I'm very fortunate that I've gotten to play a lot of roles that are, incredibly interesting and well-rounded. Some of them happen to be Asian. Some of them, it didn't really matter that they were Asian. Now there's more of a push for diversity. A lot of casting breakdowns will say, if this character is of Asian descent, we would prefer to have somebody of Asian descent voicing them, which I really appreciate, because and there,
when it comes to voicing, does it matter though?
See, that's the thing. People say, like, oh, it shouldn't matter, but it really does, especially for my Black colleagues. Honestly, they're like, they will only be cast if the character is Black or if the character looks like them. And, you know, they will be asked to speak more Black or, you know, just stereotypically or, you know, pigeonholed into roles. And with Asians in voice acting, it's getting better, and there are many, many more roles available. But it's still like a lot of the roles that I end up getting cast in are Asian, or, you know, Asian American.
Do you feel like you have to speak more Asian-like in some role? I'm not sure what does that mean though, but like
sometimes, yeah, like sometimes they do ask for an accent. They want like a Japanese or Chinese accent.
Is it better than you feel like because of diversity?
What's that?
Is it better now that because they are trying to promote more diversity? Do you find that like maybe it's finally more beneficial?
You know, yeah, I think, and I'm very fortunate because I feel like I only sort of got into voice acting seriously maybe a year and a half, about 2 years ago. And, you know, my agents have always been incredible. I let them know early on, you know, I don't want to play any, you know, I don't want to audition for like Black or Latino or like Indigenous parts. And they like supported that 100%. They will give me any role that they think is right for me, you know, like a role that's sort of in my wheelhouse of what I can do, regardless of, you know, if it's an Asian or not. But, and there is, I see it more and more, like, we would like somebody of Asian descent. They do not have to have an Asian accent.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing, especially if you're born and raised in America. For, you know, a lot of Asian American who are second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever generation, they would know a lot more English than they would with whatever language that's, you know, maybe their grandparents would know, you know. So
it's true. I like it's happening less now, but in a lot of cases when I was younger growing up, I would they would request a Japanese accent for auditions, just because, you know, the character is like actually Japanese or something. It was a lot rarer to get a role that was Asian American, you know.
I think it's getting better, hopefully.
Yeah, but it is absolutely getting better, and I'm so fortunate to get, both for voice acting and on camera acting, auditions for just incredible, diverse roles.
But I think one of the role that you did was that amazed me, because you did this Gundam thing, right?
Yeah! Oh my god, that was so cool!
Tell me about it.
I was Michelle in Gundam, in Gundam Narrative. So, and that was wild. And that's wild, like getting to be part of franchises that I grew up with, like Gundam and Sailor Moon blew my mind. You know, that's wild. So
it's
wild.
Crazy because our things that we did grew up with, and then like, wow, I get to be involved in something that I know and love. It's like cool.
I know it's you don't imagine that you'll ever get to work with the things, and you've done that too. You've gotten to work with companies that like you're a fan of too, and it's always a trip, you know.
It is kind of because like, when you're doing it, you don't really feel it. It's really weird because I feel like I always feel the impact afterwards. Like maybe when you first got it, or like after it, but not during. Because when during, you're like, I'm working it. I'm working.
And during, you're like a professional. You're occasionally something will happen. You're like, oh, that's really cool.
But it really hits you right after, and it's like, wow, huh? How about that? I got to be part of this thing that I love a lot.
I know, and you know, for me, like like Sailor Moon and Gundam, and I think a big one for me was The Last of Us, where I just did, you know, I did additional voices, you know. I'm in the settlement, but it was wild because the first Last of Us is what inspired me to decide to pursue voice acting in video games in particular. I always wanted to do voice acting, and I always loved video games, but I played The Last of Us 1, and I realized that, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm meant to do. And
so here's my question. For acting, when you send in your video reel, of course, I feel like you can show more of expression, your everything. But I feel like for voice, it's a bit trickier because you going for straight up just about voice. So what do they look for when they're looking for voice actors? Like, what is that quality? What is considered quality?
So it really depends. I think the most important thing you can do as a voice actor is to make a strong choice and just stick with it. Just like choose a character, and at the end of the day, it's about the acting. I mean, you can have a particular quality of voice that they're looking for, or sort of like a specific a tone or the range, but in the end, they really want to hear how you act. So it's the performance. And sometimes it's just, is it what they imagined, or it's just that there's a certain something that they just pick.
So for people who are not in our industry, and I always say this too, it's like for any time you submit any role or you do any kind of submission or audition or anything like that, there's so many reasons why you might not get picked. You just pretty much just send in it and you forget it and just let it happen. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, whatever. Next one.
Yeah, and I don't think they realize how much I failed.
Oh life, so much, so often.
Hundreds and hundreds, like probably at least 1,000 auditions in my lifetime. At the very least, 1,000 auditions, like on camera or voiceover, that had just like sent out into the void and heard nothing back about. And usually, I've gotten pretty good about just doing it and sending it and forgetting about it. Occasionally, a job will come around where you'll be like,
please,
oh God,
please.
I want this one. And you'll just obsess about it. And like, there's like one or two where I'm just like, that's the one that got away, and it like hurts me in my soul when I think about it. But you do your best to just kind of let it go, because there's always going to be the next one.
To. Like,
it's not meant to be.
A lot of people move to LA or SoCal and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna like do my audition. I'm gonna get the job and I'll be a big star. It's like, it doesn't really work like that per se. Everyone just assume that's how it goes. Like, no, I mean, they're hopeful, but like, not really. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you'll get that role, like that one role that's just, makes you pop. It makes you a star. But even then, it's usually in at least a year of grinding, of failed auditions and scraping together. Like, I remember having a day job, and working in catering for a long time, and just years of this sort of ramp up of building up a network and taking lessons and submitting and failures and like agents that didn't understand me. And it's a slog, and I'm a lot more privileged than most people. Like, to be transparent, I had somebody's help and support for like a year, like where I got to live rent free while I was working and everything. But I still remember I was a PA for like a web show that I think that's where I first sort of met Matt and Marisha and Allison and folks. It's you get your dues.
You are everywhere though. Like, I see you do so many things, and there's sometimes I will watch, like sometimes YouTube clips will come up or like show, and I'm like, is that Erika? It's like, oh shoot, that's Erika. Like, was it College Humor sometimes, and sometimes like Geek and Sundry, like that's everywhere. And every once in a while, like, Erika.
I've been so lucky to get to work with like the most talented people in the world. It's so wild that we work with, and like, you are like one of the top cosplay photographers in the world.
Thank you.
I mean, and just like some of my friends are the best voice actors in the world. And I know some of the best cosplayers in the world, and like people who are literally in the top of their field and live here in LA, and we are friends with them, and it's so wild to me, and I have terrible imposter syndrome all the time.
We all do. Oh my god, I talk about this all the time, especially with anyone that do with like entertainment, artists, like anything. It's just like, am I really who I think I am? I mean, I say I'm not. But people keep trying to convince me like, no, you're doing great. So I'm like, I don't know about that. Like,
great. You're so talented, Martin, and you're a good dude. That's another thing, is that like everybody's so sweet. They're so nice, because it's such a small industry that it's a very rare case in which somebody can be a jerk for long enough and get away with it.
There's no point. It's like, even for a business standpoint, I feel like that's a bad idea. It's just bad business. Why would you do that?
A good person, but also like, I mean, from a business standpoint, yeah, it's just everybody talks and everybody knows each other. So
yep.
word gets around. Nobody's everybody's really great. Everybody in voice acting that I know is just so kind and welcoming and inclusive, and are just doing their best to make the world better in their way.
Do you think like when you first got into it, was it very difficult because you didn't have like a resume or portfolio? But like now you do, of course you can like, oh, I've done this. Of course you send in your audition, but you have all this already. Is it a lot easier because of that?
It was, I mean, because the thing is I was very fortunate in that, I started working on, like, I would do a lot of little projects, and it was like a ramp of like a lot of little indie games, or like doing jobs here and there, or like little promos, and just like a lot of that. And then I was lucky because a lot of the people like that I happened to work on certain projects with would be like, oh, I like your work and I like working with you. I'll recommend you for this other thing you can audition for. And I would meet, game devs, because I worked with game developers, and they'd be like, oh, you do voiceover. Why don't you give me your demo? And like, you can audition for this next thing that I have coming up. And it was, that really fed the imposter syndrome, because I'm like, oh, it's just because like I happened to be at the right place at the right time. But somebody told me that, success is where luck meets preparation. And they said, like for me, I had years, like decades of theatrical training and acting class. I went to the Strasberg Method School. I had improv training. I had taken voiceover classes. I had paid, it's a very cost prohibitive hurdle to getting into the industry, but I had gotten a demo made. And so, when they asked for it, I had a demo to hand them, and, it's, on one hand, I'm extremely privileged to have been in the right place at the right time for a lot of moments, and to have the connections in LA, but at the same time too, I was ready. I was lucky that I was ready.
And here's a funny thing too, and I say this all the time. A lot of things that we do not require us to be physically in LA, but I feel like we don't get those opportunities unless we're in LA, right? It's even for voice acting specifically, right?
Yeah.
You can just go to any place that can do recording. You don't have to be in LA to record something. There's sound booth like everywhere, studio everywhere. But it's weird. Like
now that is the case. Now that is the case. Like, because everybody's doing it from home and recording from home, but most of the time they will record you in a studio. They're not going to like send a tech out to wherever you are, and like, or there might not be like a studio that links up. Technically, yeah, like voiceover could be done from a lot of different places, but all the agencies are here.
True.
You have to go into the studios here. If you're doing cartoons or mocap, there's the group reads. But yeah, most of the things, like for instance, streaming really, you could do it from anywhere in the world, but collaborating with and going to a lot of premieres and like this sort of network and infrastructure is all in LA or San Francisco or New York.
And here's
So
the thing
it
too.
is,
People are so last minute all the time. They'll be like, "Hey, we got this thing. Can you come in like tomorrow?"
yes, exactly. Yeah. And I
And
just can't imagine not doing it in LA. All
yeah,
of
like
this, you know?
people don't remember. They don't just. They. It's weird because I feel like if you're not in LA, people kind of forget you. Like they. But if you're here, they.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's just a.
It's a community thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're right. I think it's that, you know, the idea of building community, and you can have an online community, but there's something about seeing somebody in person and seeing, and when we go to the same events and the same conventions, we see each other, and you know, while we're hanging out, we're like, oh yeah, like I love hanging out with you. We should work on something sometime.
Like audition, not audition. Premiere. Like I see you all the time in like every single movie premiere. It's like, oh hey, hello Erika, there you are.
Yeah, it's good, and it's just kind of, I don't know, like keeps you fresh in everybody else's minds, and you know, there is something to be said about needing to separate work and play. And like I've been learning to set those boundaries in the past 2 years, because I love what I do. I love all the different aspects of it, and everybody that I am friends with, I also am fortunate enough to get to work with frequently. But you also need like to rest your brain from work and hustle and being on. So,
Like speaking of that, one thing I was talking to and our friends from the gaming industry, sometimes it's really hard about making friends that you want it to be both as a friendship thing, but also as a business thing, right? Like some people might, let's say in your case, right, they work for a gaming company, which they're also, let's say they're casting director or whatever. They're looking for another voice actor for the next game. Like you do enjoy them as a friend, but you don't want them to think that you only friends with them because they can offer you that. But at the same time, you don't want to be like...
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so I have this huge problem. So for a long time, I was so terrified to ask for anything because so many people that we know are already very established in their careers, and I never want people to think that I'm using them for anything.
Yeah.
You know? It's
a weird thing because like at the same time, it's like, yes, I would love to work with you on your next event or whatever that you have working as next, but I don't want you to think I only friends with you because I want to get that. Yeah.
And because the real truth of it is that you are friends with them because like they're interesting and they're like good heart. As I said, like everybody's really kind and they're good hearted and like fun to work with, but then also they're interesting and they're into the same things that you are. And they just like, you admire their creativity and their drive. And it's like, you are with your people, right?
Yeah.
But you also don't want, it's a weird thing, right? I sometimes get in my head about that because I don't like, I just like everybody that I know is so cool and I would never want.
But here's the imposter syndrome coming in because they feel the same about you as well. No, but there's people feel the same about you too. They're like, oh my God, this Erika, you know, I want to be friends with her, but I don't want them to think that I'm only friends with her because I'm trying to ladder climb her, you know?
Right. So like, you kind of like find your people. That you find your people and you're like, oh, this feels right, you know? Because like a lot of times if people are ladder climbing, it comes out eventually, you know, and it kind of, you figure it out. You find out who your ride or die people are.
There's also people who are so new to doing that. I'm like, you must be new at this whole ladder climbing thing. You're really obvious right now.
Right. And so that's the thing is like treating, and just in general, like can't treat people like commodities or like for what they can do for you. Even in this town, I hated going to the parties, you know, the Hollywood parties. They always ask, they're like, oh, what do you do? You know, and that's like shorthand of being like,
what do you bring to the table?
Yeah. And it's just like, I would go to those parties and I'd ask, what do you enjoy doing? Because, you know, that could be like, well, I love acting or something, but it doesn't define you by what you do.
Rock climbing.
Right. Or like rock climbing, or sometimes you get an interesting answer of like their hobby, and then that's something way more interesting to talk about. Because when
You really
I
work out too. You're crazy. Like your workout stuff always inspire me. Every time I see your workout posts on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever, I'm like, shit,
uh,
Erica's getting it. All right, F it. I guess I have to work out today too. I know.
thank you. Yeah, it's been tough. Mental health has been tough in quarantine, and one thing that has been helping a lot has been working out regularly. Getting the endorphins, and then also just like having it be a part of my routine. Having a routine and something regular has helped a lot. So yeah, I'm really grateful for working out right now. But
I think
also,
the good thing for me, I think it's a mix of both as an artist, also Chinese culture mixed together. I'm able to turn my, I guess, frustrations or like the imposter syndrome into motivation. More like, I'm not good enough. F it. Let me work harder at it. And that's time for working out as
right,
well for me. Yeah.
that's good. I mean, it's all a balancing act, Like at some point, sort of my imposter syndrome and my sort of uh, like anxiousness to like do better sort of like drives me. But I also sometimes it goes overboard, and I get anxious, or like I worry about, or I get imposter syndrome too bad, or so you really do have to sort of take care of yourself, and that's something I'm learning in quarantine.
It's weird because people are saying like, oh, now that we're in quarantine, you kind of don't have to do much. But then that's not the case because I still need to survive. I still need to build my career. Instead, it's actually more work because there's no regular anymore. I need to find out what's the next thing is and how do I adapt to this new life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still working a lot. I'm very, very, very privileged to be able to keep working for voiceover and like some D&D, or like D&D games and hosting. So I'm still busy, and that is a privilege. But
Good.
yeah, it's it's on top of the normal everyday hustle for that, and so the workouts and sort of creating content. There's just this psychic burden, of the weight of the world,
And there's
and
always something new every single day. It's not just like, oh, it's just a pandemic. Nope. Next thing you know, we got another things going on. Next thing you know, there's murder hornets, and I'm not sure what's next. Earthquake. We just got earthquake the last few days.
some other fresh horror.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my best to try and want to be there for everybody and for the world. And every day I try to do something for activism, or to outreach in the community. But also like I gotta also it's also kind of a slog to just be human sometimes.
You should take care of yourself. Yeah, I know. Like I'm not feeling it this week too. This week I'm just feeling kind of, I don't know, just mentally exhausted.
And so I am in therapy, and it's very helpful, and I'm like a huge proponent for seeking help for mental health.
Health therapy, normalizing it.
Yeah, it's it's a privilege to be able to have time for it and have money for it, but there are other ways, sliding scale, sliding scale, or hotlines, or group therapy. It is manageable, but it's a lot of hoops to jump through when you're having trouble functioning.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a mix of all things. Like that's why a pandemic is not gonna be easy for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. It's not just the illness; it's sort of the toll that it's taking on everybody.
What else are you working on these days then?
What else am I working on?
Work wise, like career, like work projects. Because you're on a film show and stuff too, right?
Yeah. No, let's see. What am I doing? I have So I again, like I'm very fortunate in that like voiceover has stayed regular, and I'm doing that. That's like sort of my main gig. Occasionally, I'll have hosting jobs.
So currently, let's say, so are you doing gigs after gigs, or doing a continuous show right now, or is it like a?
No, I don't have a continuous show right now, which is actually kind of nice. It just sort of gives me up for a lot of other things, and I haven't streamed in a while, and I feel really bad on because I haven't streamed on my channel, just because things have been really busy.
That's why I don't have a schedule yet. I feel like I should, but here's the thing. Every once in a while, someone be like, "Hey, Martin, we need to get these photos done," or like, "Oh, hey, I need to shoot something." So then I can't be free to like making sure I have a stream schedule.
Right, and that's the thing is like sometimes auditions will come in and it's like we need this tomorrow, and or sometimes like the other week, and it's again a privilege, but also stressful when like 8 auditions come in at a time and you're like, oh, I got to get through all of these in the next couple of days, right? So I've been so lucky to keep working regularly, and then occasionally I'll have like I'll guest on a D&D show or something, and that's always a real treat.
Yeah. How long do you think it's gonna last? Like this whole new life that we have?
God, it's gonna be a while. I have started to sort of mentally try and prepare myself for this to be a while.
Because again, the same thing. Like why I haven't really had a schedule, because I was like, don't worry. I keep saying to myself like, when this is over, when this is all done, this is what I'm going back and this is what I'm gonna do. But I don't see an end date yet, so it's scaring me. Yeah.
No, and I think we all just kind of have to adjust to this and sort of be there for each other in what ways we can. And I mean, I have friends that are like gonna move out of the US because they're like, well,
it's not doable.
Yeah, and I don't know, it is a scary time, but also in some ways I said this at the beginning of the pandemic, and there was a while that I was sort of shaky on this, but I still think that we're going to come out of this stronger in some ways. Like, it's going to be an awful, terrible toll, and I don't know that it'll be worth it, for the amount of life lost. But at the same time, we are also getting change, and people are reflecting on things. And, I don't know that people would have had the time or the energy to focus on civic engagement, voting and activism, if it weren't for the fact that we were stuck at home.
So yeah, that's actually a fun and interesting time, because I wonder if that activism would have happened if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Oh, and
people would be too busy in their normal day life, I feel like.
The crushing reality of capitalism is that we don't have the time or the money or the sort of emotional space to think about politics as much, when we're working 40, 60 hours a week to survive.
Yep.
So
and it's just not, it's very easy to numb to things that doesn't concern you, that does not relate to you. So like, oh, there's anything on the news, and then you just walk away.
Empathy is another major point too. It's really interesting to see. I mean, I always assume the best about humanity. I assume that people care enough about each other to do the right thing and to take the right steps, and that progress marches on, and that as time goes on, we just learn more and we get more empathetic and we make the world better. And I still kind of believe that, despite everything that's happening now. And I still think that I don't know, that the internet is still a force for good, and that we will come out of this wiser and more empathetic.
I think that's kind of how it works, like a presidential election as well too. Like you have to have certain precedent to get to the next one, and if we didn't see the bad thing, I don't think we'll get to the good thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think hope springs eternal for me. I still think that, you hear about the younger generations and you see the statistics, and as long as they actually vote, our generation votes, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's very low. People who are age 15 to 18 to 35, that group doesn't vote as much as they. But it's really weird because I feel like they're very loud on the internet. They're like the loudest one.
Yeah.
But they're not the ones who are voting.
Yeah.
True.
It's always important too to realize that what we see on the internet is only a fraction of the real world.
Very echo chambery.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. I still think that we can change the world for the better, and that it will be better coming out of this. We'll have to make it that way.
If we get to that point, we'll see.
Oh, we'll get there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a grim turnout to like, self-reflect life. Yeah. Pandemic.
And it's funny because like we can't do small talk anymore. Like dating during this is like not the worst. I mean, dating is the worst.
I don't know how to date at all. Like I'm like swiping every night on my phone, and I'm like, yeah, sure. But like even if I do match up with someone that's very interesting, like how is this gonna work out?
How is that gonna work? But then also when you like, even if you talk to somebody, it's like impossible to make small talk because it's like, mm-hmm. Oh, how was your day? Oh, there's the crushing reality of
pandemic
existence on my shoulders. It's like, how do you talk to people? I don't know how to talk to people anymore, Martin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Every time someone asks me like, hey, how are things? It's really hard to say, it's great. Like that just...
Right. So my friend and I have started saying like, things are bad. Things are real rough right now because it's, I'm not going to lie to somebody. Anybody who says things are fine is either a liar or a sociopath. I mean, right? So you could just say things are rough, but I'm alive and
best.
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
That's all we can hope for.
Yeah. Like both, like, no, I was just joking the other day. It's like, oh, how's your day? Like, how's my day? Someone asked me like, just having an existential crisis, the 5th time this week, normal stuff,
Yeah, and I think in some ways we can be honest about that because everybody's going through it, and we can kind of be there for each other and sympathize and say, yeah, great. Like there is no reason not to be vulnerable right now in this day and age because mm-hmm. everybody's going through it. Nobody's really okay.
Yeah, that should be acceptable, like very acceptable. Like, it's not okay. The world's kind of burning right now. Yeah.
That's not okay. How are you?
But yeah, no, dating is rough. Career is weird. Like for me, at least, it's just like I don't know where things are going. So I'm just trying to see we're taking it step by step right now. Yeah,
that's all we can really do, and I think that's just what I've sort of resigned myself to and resolved to just take things one day at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How does this affect the gaming world? What do you think? In a way, because like I know,
no,
is it better though for gaming world?
Video games, honestly, video games are going forward. I mean, there's some delays due to manufacturing and due to outsourcing issues, but
I feel like it's one of the least impact. Yeah, it's one of the industry that's not being impacted by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it has, and everything's going to be impacted, and that's a recession.
I know, definitely. But in comparison, I feel like it's not as crazy.
I'm still getting the same number of auditions that I was before this, and games are still coming out. Updates mm-hmm. are still happening. Mm-hmm. we didn't get E3, which was such a bummer. Understandable, but such a bummer. Um, but we
I feel like
still
that is so much needed, like an E3, like after all that's happened. Like let's say from March to like what, July, let's say everything clear out. Like only that part was a bad day, and then E3 does happen. Oh, that would be such a good break from all this bad thing.
Martin, like I was so looking forward to E3 this year. This was my first E3 where I was like in the games industry.
Not a pretender.
Like I had like big credits and AAA games. There's a couple of the games that are going to come out that would have had booths for me, like, and I would have gotten to go. It was my first year there as like a gaming insider pro,
Yep.
And like I am friends with everybody. I was just like sort of adjusting to like, I had a rough year before this, and so I was just adjusting to like going back out and socializing with people. It was going to be great, and then
all your friends and everything.
Partying, like boom, COVID happened. But you know what? It's okay. We're going to come back stronger, more resilient, and more ready to party next year.
Yep, that's the plan. Hopefully, the next time I see you will be like a convention where we get to party more and drink more.
No, it'll be so nice. And next one's on me. Next round's on me.
We always say this. Here's a problem. We always go to industry party. There's no next round on anybody. It's always free.
It's always free.
I make that jokes all the time too, because like I have friends who I forgot which event, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll go to the next party, and then like whatever, next bar or whatever, next drink, I'll buy you a drink. I'm like, sure, we'll go to the next party. We're industry, and then we go to another party. It's also industry party. No one can buy any drink. They can't take your money. I mean, they'll take your money for tips, but they won't take your money for buying drinks.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Good time. Oh man, I miss E3 so much now. How dare you?
No,
How dare you, Erika?
Oh.
All right. Well, I'll try not to think about it, and I'll see what's the next thing. What month is August? Freak. Okay.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it, man.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. That's really hard. That's why. I mean, I used to go to convention every other week. That was my daily live schedule. Like I normally have a suitcase out here at all time. Just there's no reason for me to put away a suitcase. I'm traveling every other week to a convention. Yeah. It's changing the cosplay industry too. I was talking about that recently. Like, I hope I can do some kind of like case study more specific to show like how this have impacted the cosplay world, how is it changing it as an industry. Again, as you said, it might do some good to it. Like it definitely gonna kill off something, but at the same time, it might make it stronger by changing it, adapting it to a different world. We'll see.
I hope so. I'm just curious to see what shakes out, and I hope that this gets fixed soon because it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Well, we should also like next time I see you, we can also get some shoot done. We always have some photo shoot idea, surreal photo shoot.
Oh my god, I know. Let's do a shoot, Martin. Like
cyberpunk one.
I got this cool sign. It's flipped in the image, but I got this cool sign with my last name on it.
It's not flipped for me.
That?
It's
really?
not flipped for me. It's normal for me. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's just flipped for mine. Yeah.
Okay. Because I am Chinese, so I can read it. So.
Yeah. That's right.
Sack Zhang. So is this supposed to be your last name?
Yeah. So
yeah.
For the Japanese pronunciation is Ishii.
Yep. So I can read it. So I'm like Sack Zhang. So like Ishii. Yeah, it makes sense. So I'm like okay. Yeah. All right. Well, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Erika Ishii, on Instagram at the Erika Ishii. And let's see. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be doing a cool thing for Gish, the scavenger hunt, with Travis McElroy and my friend Tanya and a couple other fun friends.
Awesome. That's great. That sounds fun. I'll try to tune in too.
Yeah, I'll blast that out on my socials.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Of course, you can watch us again on YouTube. You should listen to this maybe on Spotify, on iTunes. You can find us anywhere on social media as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next